The hospitality of the people is like no other I've ever experienced. They make you feel at home, they make you feel a part of the family.
Meet Shay, a YouTube content creator that have been navigating into Filipino content for years. My name is Calvin Castiel, navigating expat life.
What's your name and where you from?
My name is Shay, I'm from New Zealand, but based in Perth, Australia.
For how long you have been in the Philippines?
I have been in the Philippines a little over 2 weeks, but this is also my 9th trip here.
When was your first time in the country?
First time was early 2018.
And guys, I'm pretty sure you know my guest today. I'm pretty sure they know you. How did you get in contact with the Philippines? How did you find out about the Philippines?
So I was introduced to a Filipino singer. I filmed a reaction video, and then it was just a down trail of request Filipino artists. I kept reacting to them. I fell in love with OPM music, and then a few years went by and my audience wanted me to visit the Philippines and meet some of these artists.
And when was your first impression of the country?
My first impression was, I think it was the vibe. As soon as I booked a Grab from the airport to my accommodation, I felt like I had stepped back in time with the music. There was a lot of ballads, 90s R&B. So I kind of felt like I took a moment back in time, and then also the hospitality of the people is like no other I've ever experienced. They make you feel at home, they make you feel a part of the family. I highly recommend visiting Philippines if you've never been. And before I even flew back home during the first trip, I was already thinking about the second trip and making it longer. So I went from a 10-day trip to then the next trip, a few months later, 35 days. And I just keep coming back.
Was the Philippines the same as what you were expected before you came here?
So before I came here, I did react to a few videos based on the Philippines, just to have a little understanding about where I was going to, and it exceeded my expectations in terms of lifestyle. The food is one of the reasons I keep coming back. I absolutely love Filipino food, and also the people you meet. I've met a lot of foreigners and other creatives during my travels, so that has also been a bonus that I wasn't expecting to happen. And I've also made very good friends with a lot of local people here. So even some of my audience have become almost family to me. So that's another reason I keep coming back.
Okay. Knowing that you have been coming here every year, what is the biggest lie that you have heard about the Philippines?
Biggest lie? I don't know if I've heard many lies. I think I'd have to really think about that. That's a good question. Lies.
Or let's say,
Actually, yes. The Philippines being a third world country, like when you're in somewhere like this is almost better than back where I live in Perth, like this city. Also a lot of, there's a lot of nice restaurants here, places to go, the nightlife. It's the complete opposite from what I've heard. Obviously there's, poverty in the Philippines, but I think, people's mindsets here, the fact that people are so, just happy and loving people in general, you kind of, despite someone's circumstances, Filipinos will find a way. They'll find a way to get through anything. This is what I've seen.
Wow, beautiful. And since you do reaction, right? So you know that Filipinos are well talented. Filipinos, they can sing well. Something that just came up into my mind right now. Let's do maybe a street interview asking Filipinos to sing, the two of us.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it just came to my mind. Guys, probably it's gonna be into another video. But what do you think about Filipino music? What do you think about the industry?
I think,
let's say OPM, right?
OPM music. So Filipino singers are underrated. I don't feel like they get the world recognition they deserve. Obviously you have international artists like Bruno Mars being probably one of the top artists right now. He gets the respect he deserves, but there are so many talented artists here. I think if more Filipino singers were to make English songs that were more catered, although, I feel like OPM music is like, it's a standard in itself, but if more Filipino singers were to drop more mainstream English songs, I feel like they could possibly take over. They're actually really, really good singers.
Okay. And what is one thing that maybe Filipinos, they are doing wrong, they could do better when it comes to promoting the music, to put the music like worldwide?
Well, as an artist myself, I also make music too. I also struggle with this, so I might not have the best answer for it. But I think just maybe English songs is probably the best way to start, because a lot of singers here, obviously OPM music, which is beautiful, by the way. I may not understand the language, but when I'm hearing OPM music, I understand the feeling. So you don't even necessarily need to understand the lyrics. You will know just as soon as you hear it. So maybe English songs, maybe even collaborating with English US singers, maybe.
Beautiful. And you have mentioned something that caught my attention right now. You said like, oh, a lot of people, they kind of think like, oh, they kind of say Filipino is like third world country, right? What is something that you have seen here in the Philippines that you haven't seen in the first world country?
Oh, so let's say condos. They pretty much have everything you need. I mean, as a foreigner, I mean, as anyone in general, like, you know, you got access to swimming pools, gyms, literally, you know, in the same building, whereas most, you know, other places you actually have to travel to do each activity. Also, I think getting around, you know, you can take, you know, motorcycle, jeepneys, all that sort of thing. Whereas, you know, back home, although it's more structured in terms of driving, it's a bit chaotic here. But there's also like, what would you say? Like a method to the madness. Like everyone knows what they're doing. I think I've only seen one accident in the Philippines in terms of a car crash, and it wasn't just like a little bump. It was like the car completely flipped upside down, which is very rare. I've even captured that on film. It's just completely random. But you will rarely ever see an accident here, which is crazy considering the amount of congestion there is in Manila traffic.
Wow, beautiful. And if you stop and think, what is one thing that you love about Filipino culture, if you got to stop, that you would love to bring back to your country?
That's a great question. I've met a lot of amazing people. Some, what would you say? Almost happily ever after love stories. I would like to meet that special person and maybe later down the line bring them back to my home and see where it goes. But if we're going to choose something that's not as deep as that, the food. I need more Filipino food.
Okay. Since you talk about like dating, have you ever considered maybe like in the future date a Filipino, or have you ever dated a Filipino?
I've been on a few dates with Filipinas, all lovely girls, just you know, circumstance, long distance, been a few things that have affected that. What was the question again? I'm getting sidetracked.
Have you ever considered to date a Filipino?
I definitely would. In some ways, because I come here so often, I do feel like I have more of a connection with Filipinas versus every other ethnicity that I've encountered. So I'm definitely open to it. And if there's anyone out there that is single right now and likes what they see, let me know, let CC know, and we'll get back to you.
All the info, guys, is going to be on the description below. Brother, just before we go around, I know standing it's kind of hard, and actually today the weather is perfect in Manila. Not rainy, super windy. Let me ask you this, right? You have been doing a reaction video and you love the country. You love, doing like reaction. If in all these 7 years that you have been coming here, what is one thing you don't like about the country in general?
There's really only one thing, and that's the traffic. I used to love it when I first came here because it was like a nice little break from my day. I was able to just rest, you know, check my phone. Sometimes when I'm out and about, I don't really check my phone, and you know, by the time I actually look at my phone, there's like a load of messages. But now when I really need to get somewhere, it's taking a lot longer than I want it to, and I have a better understanding of Filipino time. It is real here. So yeah, the traffic.
The traffic.
So in terms of expenses, travel expenses have stayed roughly the same during the duration of my trips here, but also like I feel like there's two types of foreign content creators. One just wants to, you know, I guess exploit and gain the traction and the subscribers, whatever. And also there's the ones that like love the people in the country and are doing it more out of just love for being here versus creating content itself. Kuya, ate, grabe, mahal kita, salamat po.